Alex, look at that. Look at that right there.
Yeah, it's not a pretty sight, no.
2-1. Manchester United go through. They advance into the next round of the Europa League. Guys, welcome back to the Kool-Aid Podcast. Welcome back to Season 2, Episode 88. Today's going to be a tough day. Barcelona, another big European defeat. Another humiliating loss. Another tough loss to take in. There's so many angles where we can basically go and discuss this game. We can say how, Xavi's poor European record, how Barcelona has been dreadful in Europe these past couple of seasons. They haven't been able to beat top European teams, and they haven't been able to compete. When we look at this game specifically, we talk about, for example, the good performance that we had in the first half and then the second half capitulation. We can talk about the first game in the Camp Nou where Xavi doesn't give the game the importance it deserves. And we go into that game with one arm tied behind our back. We give Man United basically the advantage, and they take full advantage of it. But Alex, I want to get your raw thoughts on this. Because for me, after the game finished, I had to take an hour or two just to basically disconnect because I was losing it. We had it. We had the game.
Yeah, similar thoughts here. It's been a tough ride so far. Well, not so far, but these last few seasons in the UCL and in Europe in general, we haven't been performing to our level, and tonight was sadly another example of that. First and foremost, I'd like to say that it's a very unfortunate circumstance. We had big players injured. It almost seems like every time we play games that matter, our best players are injured, and that was certainly the case for the midfield. We also had Dembele out. I'm not giving excuses. I'm just saying, of course, it was tough. The same way it was tough for United to play against us in the first leg when they were missing players like Eriksen, Sabitzer, Anthony, and so on. Excuse me. But of course, that's part of life. That's part of the sport. I'm obviously annoyed and very mad that we lost, but I wouldn't say I'm disappointed because I knew what was happening coming in. I knew, listen, we have big players out. We have to basically climb another mountain and beating United at home.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Right? Which should have been the same case for us, but unfortunately we didn't win at home. We had no goal advantage to take us into this game, which I thought was, of course, a very big disadvantage. And yeah, I think we played with the best we had, and most of our team was there. It's just an unfortunate turn of events. I don't want to pull the trigger on Xavi and say that, hey, he's been bad in Europe. I think when we look at his overall success and his overall time as a coach at Barca, he's done more good than he's done bad. He certainly made the team a whole lot better. Of course, that's not just him. Laporta plays a big part of that. But, he's strengthened the team a lot. Something that I don't think he gets enough credit for. He's made us much more powerful in the league. It's a big trophy winning La Liga. It's, who doesn't like winning the UCL or even the Europa League? But still, domestic trophies are very important, and they're definitely great for morale boosting. And, yes, there's a lot of negatives from losing today, but at least there's positives. Now we can just focus on the league. Again, I know that's a terrible thing to say after losing in a major European tournament, but, with time we'll realize that it gives us a better chance of winning the league and La Copa del Rey, of course. Basically, I just think we weren't meant to win champions. I don't think we were meant to win in Europe this season. I think this season was meant for us to basically just win domestically, win our league, win possibly another domestic cup like La Copa del Rey.
Yeah.
And just start building an era, right? They're talking about the new era of Barca. This is the beginning of a new era. You can't win it all every year.
No,
Um,
exactly.
it's like the saying: you win some, you lose some. Unfortunately, this is the part where you lose some. I thought we played better than United for the most part today, but there were just some key players in United today. I thought Fred had a phenomenal game. Bruno
Yep.
Fernandes was great too. Rashford wasn't
Quiet.
right. He was a bit more quiet. I thought Araujo defended him well, but still, he was still a threat at all times. And yeah, we also got unlucky.
Yeah.
We missed. The hair made a mistake, and we couldn't capitalize on it.
Yeah, so Sergio Roberto gets the ball and he basically isn't
Yeah,
able to capitalize it,
and you
and
know
that's
what?
such a good chance.
And fair play to the hair. I thought he was great today. He nearly stopped Lewandowski's penalty. He blocked a crucial header from Conde.
Mm-hmm.
And the list goes on. I thought both teams were very evenly matched.
No,
Now,
yeah.
I don't like talking about ifs. I think hypotheticals are very stupid because it's just not the situation. It's a big if, this, that, especially when it's in the past. Had we had Dembele, Pedri, and Gavi, would it have been a different game? Sure. But that wasn't the case, right? And it is what it is. I just hope that the team can learn from this defeat. It's obviously not an 8-2 against Bayern or a 4-0 against Liverpool at Anfield.
Yeah, no, it's completely different games.
Right, and that's what I'm saying. It's very different situations. But I just hope this is one of those defeats that we're like, damn, like it's time to step up, because for some years now we've been the laughingstock of Europe when we play in these big competitions. And I'm not just talking about Bayern. That was more recent. I'm talking about Roma. I'm talking about Liverpool.
Bayern.
And just Bayern, of course, but just underperforming in so many fixtures in the UCL. I think it's embarrassing, to be honest. And now getting kicked out of the Europa League, surely by a good Manchester United side, but nonetheless, not even being able to compete further into a competition that I believe is below our level as a club, but we've deserved to be playing in based on how we've been playing the last couple of years.
Exactly.
But yeah, it's not an easy situation, and I know I've been ranting for a little bit, so I'm gonna hand it back. But yeah, I'm just hopeful that we learn from this, as we should with all defeats as well as victories. And I hope, I hope this makes the team more ambitious to win in the league and to win in the Copa del Rey, because I don't think there's a better motivator than defeat.
You're right. Well, what's done is done. Barcelona is knocked out of the Europa League. I don't know what's worse, being knocked out 2 years consecutively from the Champions League and going to the Europa, or being in the Europa two years in a row and not being able to win it. Both were just extremely poor. I thought, as you said, this game, I don't think Barcelona were necessarily poor. I thought the first half Barcelona dominated United. I thought that they were much better team. United barely created any chances. I think that their first and only chance in that half was at the very start of the game, where Bruno Fernandes has that 1v1 against Ter Stegen, where Ter Stegen
was great play by Ter Stegen.
Yeah, with Ter Stegen has like a big block. But then the second half, I think Barcelona come out where very, very sluggish. They're basically asleep, and Man United get what should have been a very easy clearance. Barcelona can't clear it. It pinballs, and Fred is able to basically rocket the ball into the back of net, which I think Ter Stegen should have done better. Even though Ter Stegen did have that major save, I thought Ter Stegen was anonymous in this game. I thought in both instances he could have done a lot better. I thought, hey, we need our keeper to make like a key save. Like those are saves that you make to keep your team in it. I thought he could have done much better. I thought the back line overall, I thought Araujo, I thought none of them had like a particularly great game. I thought Balde wasn't a very good game from him. He had some instances of brilliances. But
yeah, I think, sorry to interrupt you, but I think Balde's game today can be seen through two lenses, the defensive and the offensive. I think offensively he was great today. He got up a lot. He created a lot of chances. He was just a threat. Defensively, I don't think he had a terrible game, but it was a mediocre game for
Yeah,
him.
exactly.
I definitely see him play a lot better, and goes to show. I mean, he's a very young player. He
No,
still has
yeah.
a lot of time to
And on
develop. And
top of that, like he hasn't started many European matches
exactly. Well,
just because like Xavi doesn't trust
yeah.
him in that position, and this is one of those games where he needs to build experience.
I will. I will. Excuse me, real quick again. I will say one thing about the defense today. I thought our biggest problem defensively today was our decision making.
Yep.
It wasn't the one-on-ones. It
Yeah.
wasn't the marking. It was, I think it was mainly the decision making. I think we gave the ball away a lot on defense.
Yeah.
Especially on the right side. I think Conde. I mean, I love him as a player. I'm a huge fan of him. But
Yeah,
I
he's
think
been amazing this season, but he had a very poor game.
he
I
had
think
a
today.
very exactly his passing was not there. Araujo was solid overall. I think he did a great job at marking Rashford, but when you look at it, I just think we gave away too many chances. And
Yeah.
again, with the decision making, we weren't making decisive clearances. We were just feeding them chances. And to be fair, look, I know United won, and I know there were great finishes from both Anthony and Fred, but I think they were lucky.
Yeah, I completely agree with you.
I think they were lucky goal. There were opportunistic goals. You know, you obviously get the chance, you
Yeah,
take
yeah,
it.
yeah.
But I'm not gonna
Sure.
come out here and say, wow, that was a great goal. That was such a No, it wasn't. It was a bounce, and then he got the volley, and then the other one had the snapshot, and great finishes, like I'm saying. But
For example, when you look at that first goal, Kunde tries to basically clear the ball. He can't clear it. It bounces off a player. Kessie tries to clear it. Does bounce? Can't clear it. Then it bounces back into the middle of the pitch, and then Fred, he basically kicks the ball. I don't remember who was on him, but it goes bottom right hand corner, and he just that's a goal that should not be allowed at the very start of the game. No, at the very start of the second half, those type of goals should not be allowed because starting a half, especially when you're 1-0 up away from home, the one thing that you have to do is make sure you start the first 10 minutes of a game very strong. Don't concede, don't make mistakes, and then the second half. Why? Because the team can bounce back. And if the team bounces back, if they score, if they equalize, then the crowd gets on you. The pressure, everything. Your calmness, the entire calmness that we had in that first half completely went away when we made that mistake. And then Man United looked like the better team. Man United went at us. That change from Eric Ten Hag to basically add Weghorst. To take off Weghorst and bring on Anthony. Help the team out so much.
And again, it's one of those things that you can look. I can't look at United except for a couple of players and be like, wow, they had a great game. I thought they were just like us today. Everyone was pretty average.
I thought Lisandro, Varane, I thought they played too.
Well, no, those are the players I'm talking about.
Yeah,
that were the exception. But for example, Anthony hasn't done much all season, and a lot of people have considered him a flop. I'm not one of those, right? I think he's a great player, but for a player who hasn't done anything, essentially for United, or any major or hasn't been a consistently good player. It's like one of those things. Like, yeah, he came on, he scored the goal, and then it's not like he did anything else. It's not like he was out here pulling the strings or playing a great game. It's part of football, the people you least expect can change the match. But of course, defensively, United were solid today. I can think of one of the last plays of the game, the Lewandowski goal line clearance. I mean, it wasn't a crazy clearance, but nonetheless, great tracking back by Varane.
Yeah.
And I know. And Lisandro Martinez, he's one of those that's crazy.
No, Lisandro today had a fantastic game.
And I've been saying it. I think he's such a great center back. I'm a huge fan, and he proved his worth today.
Yeah, exactly. Well, then also Man United's second goal. You just saw how it was just like Man United were getting the players were getting shots off.
Yeah, no,
and of course Anthony has to shoot that, and of course.
Exactly, that's what I'm saying. Hasn't done much all season, but he did enough today. But again, the part that upsets me about that play is from the beginning, right? The back heel from Luke Shaw. I believe it was Luke Shaw.
Yeah, it was Luke Shaw.
Mm-hmm. Then Rafinha gets body slammed by Bruno Fernandes.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Which I'm not saying it's a foul or not, but Rafinha might need to hit the gym a bit more. So they lose the ball stupidly. Then I don't remember who. I think it was Garnacho.
Oh my god!
He gets a shot.
Did you see his post-match post on social media.
Yeah, he did the Pedri, no?
Yeah, he
I mean,
did that.
I don't know. Like,
What a pathetic
yeah, I
response from
mean,
like a nobody.
it's
Just
yeah, no, it's I think he's a great, talented young player, but he's
not even
nowhere
that.
near. He's
I'm
nowhere near what Pedri is doing or has
he's
done.
nowhere near Pedri, and on
And
top of that,
it's not even fair to do that because obviously Pedri didn't play today. It's a player that's injured. At least if you're gonna go out for someone, at least do a Lewandowski or do something else that's more applicable. Because no offense to him, he didn't really do anything this match. He just came on toward the end of the match. Didn't really have an impact. Yeah, sure, he got by the defense a few times, but it led to nothing ultimately. Um, and on top of that, it's you're out here throwing shade for no reason. Pedri doesn't even talk to you. Doesn't even know who you are, and you're
no,
out here like
no, yeah, exactly.
you're going after one of the least problematic guys in the team for no reason. For that, go after.
Not only that, look at that, and then he says, "Pasa de ronda el equipo grande," which means basically the big team goes through. And I don't think that's at all applicable. I think we have to remember how Barcelona beat Manchester United in both of the finals. I think this is the first time Man United have beaten Barcelona since what, 2008, 2009, around there.
Exactly, and not to mention United have a terrible history in the Europa League.
Exactly.
They lost against Villarreal on penalties.
I know,
Like three
especially on
seasons ago,
Barcelona.
2 seasons ago.
Congrats. You beat us in the Europa League. Just I don't think how you can say you're the big team
Exactly,
goes through,
it's
which
well. I mean,
I don't.
I don't pay much attention to what players say or what they do. Like at the end of the day, they're people too. They're hype. They won, but I just thought it was annoying and very dumb from him. If he knew anything about his team, he know that Barca has dominated United in Europe
No,
for as long as I can remember.
yeah, completely.
Yeah, tell him to go rewatch the 2011 UCL final. Maybe it'll do him some good.
And not even that. He could just go back 3 years ago. I mean, 4 years ago into the 2019 where we played Manchester United, and we basically beat them at home 1-0, and then we beat them at the Camp Nou 3-0. Go rewatch that, going Archo. But congrats on the victory today, which I don't think is going to mean much, the Europa League. But once again, the team, I thought Lewandowski today, I thought he dropped a stinker. I think other than the penalty, which was questionable. I think Lewandowski, he doesn't fill me with confidence when he goes up to the penalty, because that little stutter that he does, we saw in the World Cup, we saw today.
And it's ironic to mention that, right? Because I mean, I remember a couple seasons ago when he was at Bayern, still everyone regarded him as this great penalty taker, this great finisher.
Mm-hmm.
Excuse me. But I think in recent seasons, in recent times, I think especially since the World Cup, not that he takes many penalties. I don't think Barca is one of those teams that gets awarded a lot of penalties. So I don't really see him shoot that much. But I'm the same way. I don't have that much confidence with him as of late. But you know what? Be that as it may, I'm gonna give this game a flat 6.
A flat 6. Okay.
Oh, actually, I give it a 5.5.
5.5.
Just because of the importance that it had.
Okay.
We said it before. Like, with the exception of the guest we had on a couple of sessions ago, I can't stand Man United fans. I'm so sorry.
Yeah.
I dislike them more than Madrid fans. So that's how you know. But you know what? Fair play to United. They deserved it. Were they the better team all throughout the game? No, but they were the better team when it mattered. And I mean, good luck to them. We'll see if they actually win it this year. If not, well,
no, exactly.
But yeah, no hard feelings. They were the better team. I just think we have to learn from this, and we have to move on. We desperately have to improve.
No, exactly. Right now, what
Spain.
What Barcelona now have to do is just basically our priority right now is to go for the domestic treble. We won the Supercopa de España. What we have to do now is win La Liga and win the Copa del Rey. We're going to have Real Madrid over a 2-legged tie in the Copa del Rey. We have to make sure we win that. That's going to be very soon. And Barcelona need to be on top of that. Because, as we mentioned, Barcelona hasn't been good in Europe. In the big European matches, Barcelona hasn't been able to show up. And so in order to basically help that image, Barcelona need trophies. Well, what were your thoughts on Ansu's cameo? Because Ansu's a player that divides the fan base. For example, a lot of people support him, but
Yeah, and a lot of people hate him too. Um I, I can't really. It's like, when they give player ratings and the player only came out for like 3 minutes and they
yeah,
put not applicable NA.
yeah.
I, I I think that's what I had to give him too. I know he was obviously there for longer than that, but he didn't really do anything.
No,
I don't think he got the
exactly. But
chance.
for
There's
example,
sorry, real quick. There's one play that I'm still very upset about. It was a counterattack by Rafinha or Dembele. It was no, not Dembele. Rafinha or actually it was Ferran Torres. I'm so sorry. By Ferran Torres, I believe that he was running down the pitch and he made a very late pass and they took. I don't know. It's random thought, but I didn't think Ferran did great when he was there. He did give a good cross that Ansu Fati put his head on when it should have been Lewandowski.
no,
Um,
no. For example,
yeah,
Ansu Fati, I don't think we have to have patience for him. He's a player that we should support. He's still very young. Um, he can still have a career at Barcelona, but this is some time to think of like, hey, are we going to cut ties with this guy? Because, for example, he hasn't since his comeback from injury, he hasn't shown much to warrant a stay at Barcelona, and you can see this in the for Ferran Torres, and this is why constant like rumors are being linked with the player. But once again, I think Barcelona suffered today from the absence of Gavi, Pedri, and Dembele. I thought, even though, for example, as you said, we can't say excuses, the team would have been very different without them. And once again, I think if Barcelona didn't come into that second half sleeping, it could have been a different scoreline. And if Barcelona started the first game with their starting 11, I thought it would have been a completely different start at the Camp Nou, and we possibly could have gone into this game with a lead, but who knows?
I
And
just
regard,
yeah. So real quick, I just wanted to end on a quick thought for my part.
yeah,
I think the best solution for the Ansu Fati inconsistency would be to put him on loan in a in like a good league. I would say either the Prem or another team in La Liga, or maybe Serie A, Liga, Bundesliga, somewhere where he can be getting regular playtime and can be getting better and better. I think it's almost a liability to play him when he plays the way he does. Man, I just want him to get better. I'm such a huge fan ever since I first saw him debut for Barca, and
no,
I wish him the best. But I think putting him on loan with obviously no option to buy, just straight letting him play elsewhere, I think that would be good for him.
that is a very good option. But my match rating for this game, I would give it a 5. I would give it a 5 just because I know Barcelona haven't placed that much emphasis on the Europa League, because if you place emphasis on the Europa League, you wouldn't be rotating in the first game. That wouldn't be the case. But this is a game that I wanted to win, not because like I want to advance into the Europa League, but because I want to basically help and basically recover our European image. I don't like having this record of having only one win in 15 in
Right.
the major European games. I don't like that record. I want Barcelona to basically win, win, win. It wasn't the case, but now we move on. For example, I don't think the squad is going to be hit very hard by this. For example, we still have to remember that we have La Liga, we have the Copa del Rey, and we have a lot to play for. I would give the match a 5. I don't think Barcelona were brilliant. The first half was good, but they didn't follow up, and a toothless second half. But guys, that was it for tonight's episode. It was a tough one. It was a very tough episode to make, just because we don't like coming on here after Barcelona loses. But as always, guys, we're always going to be here giving you our match reaction and our thoughts to each and every game. As always, guys, I post a link on Twitter at Kool-Aid Podcast. Any of you guys want to hop in and give your thoughts and discuss with us, feel free to click the link and you'll be able to join. But guys, that was it for tonight's episode. And we'll see you guys all on the next episode. Peace out, guys.